Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking another peek over here at Chiliz. I'm covering this once more, helping understand if this is actually going to reverse itself or if we're still stuck on our way to the downside. We're just going to go ahead and be realistic about this and just kind of figure it out with no bias, right? That's the whole point of being a good trader, is to just look at things abstractly and to kind of just take what data you have and maybe reference the past and see what kind of history we might have moving forward. Okay, so keep this in mind. I'm not a financial advisor. I just want you to know that. I've been trading for a long time though, over 17 years. And if you do want to become a better trader, just say I've been teaching as well for quite some time. CryptoCash.tech is a website. I have private trading videos as well as an amazing community. And of course, I send out signals as well for the trades that I take. So take a look here. Just to give you perspective on Ethereum, we took 42% here recently. That's in 11 days. And then yesterday we also took 32% from, no correction, we're looking at, there it is, BNB 50% for 11 days. And the list goes on, right? We just got tons of profits coming through here. Another Ethereum trade for 83%. And then my all-time favorite, of course, recently, until we get the next one, is Solana at 195% in 3 days. So I don't know anywhere else in the in the trading market you can get that much growth in one day. Okay, so again, just some awesome stuff, and obviously we're going to have an optimized website coming up soon. It's a really cool feature, so pay attention for that. You want to become a better trader again and use that better trading knowledge on the best exchange possible. $10,000 prize pool monthly through Bitget, and of course you will need a VPN, so ExpressVPN has you covered with 3 extra months free with a 12-month plan. So again, those are just things I like to be able to bring to your attention because I have discounts all over the place specifically for the things that we use regularly. So if you do join, just keep in mind you'll be taken very good care of. So here's the thing with Chiliz. I wanted to kind of talk about this. First of all, the descending trend is broken. Okay, that's the fantastic thing about this. You can kind of see that. It's not officially broken because we haven't technically made higher highs yet or higher lows. I'll explain on smaller time frames. But what's important to recognize at this point is if you take a look at the current data here, this descending trend, we can see that we got wicked out here, there as well, and broken. Eventually took about 5 retries to break this descending trend. Okay, so step number 1 of breaking a trend to the downside is to go sideways, at least for some time. We're probably stuck in that sideways phase for the moment until we break above, just say this 0.382 or 0.5 level, because again, you can see a lot of volume was occurred right here at this level, and we're kind of getting rejected out by that point. Okay, and it's kind of easy to identify, but if you pull up the volume profile, you can kind of see that we have a lot of volume at this area. Okay, so we zoom in just a little bit, you can see that the most amount of volume is right here at this resistance level. Okay, so generally speaking, we're in a situation now where we have a lot of volume above us. Okay, and when you have a volume like above the place in which you're trying to get, it's going to cause somewhat of a resistance level, right? So that just basically implies that a lot of bulls and bears bought in at this point, and with us getting rejected tentatively right here, that tells me that we're probably going to see further sideways action before it legs up. We might experience a short squeeze, but generally speaking, I don't think that we're in a position where we want to just go crazy with the long, right? Again, it seems why wouldn't it go any higher? Obviously, the whole what goes down must come up. You'd be surprised, things can keep going lower. Either way, we have good momentum, so this is a positive. So the MACD is still converging, showing us we have that momentum to the upside. We still got room until we hit a resistance level at 50 in the RSI. So generally speaking, there's a great chance we could be range bound between, 10.1, actually we can round up and say 11 cents, upwards of 11.6. So 11 to 11.6 is essentially this little range here that I think we're going to probably spend a little bit more time. Okay, so hypothetically, it goes range bound within that area. That's a lot of, it's fun to trade that. That's really easy considering. So that's a positive sign there. Furthermore, as well, we want to take a quick look at the moving averages and see we're up over the 20, which is good. This kind of tells us we have broken the descending trend as well. So that's a very big step in the right direction. The second step, of course, get up over the 50, but the 50 is trailing so far behind because the price has come down so long and so much for Chiliz that it's not really a factor right now. Okay, so the good news is we're above a key level resistance, right? You can see that 0.236 there at 11 cents. That is essentially where the price action made its break, right? So that's a great sign. That really tells us that we have stronger potential for upside moving forward. Okay, so again, I would say generally speaking, we're looking better than not to the upside, but I would anticipate the price could pull back at least closer to 11 than it would 11.6. Let me explain what I mean by that. We can kind of see here that we are fairly overextended, right? We came up to a 9 on TD sequential. We had this little push here, didn't get enough time to reset, pushed up harder. That's likely a short squeeze right there at that area, because a lot of shorts will hedge their longs right at this point, where they sell their shorts and immediately open longs. So that's why the price goes up a lot faster and quicker. But when it comes back down here, we can kind of see it hasn't really finished this downtrend yet. We're only about 4 hours into this continuation of the downside, so I think there's potential for more downside before it comes up. But what we're hoping for is the price to come over here, consolidate, and then leg up again. If we get about 24 hours to 48 hours, basically just a day or two of consolidation at that level, I think we have a strong chance for it to continue higher. But just keep in mind, we're overextended. You can see 70 here, really close to on the RSI, or at least it's really close to 70 on the RSI. Really just telling us it's still overextended and not considered a good value. So the price action should continue lower. So to me, this looks like something to potentially avoid, just based on the simple fact that it's giving us kind of some signs it wants to continue further down. But also keep in mind too, that leg up was probably a fundamental catalyst, and something pushed the price action a little bit higher, because you can definitely see a lot of volume spiked at that point. With the volume coming back down and going sideways, that tells us it could come down a little bit further. Let's take a look at this here though, because we did get a bounce off of 9 on TD sequential when it hit the hourly, right? So the price came down to almost wick all the way down to 11 cents, and then it come up from there. So hypothetically, what we want to look for here next is a higher low, more specifically than a higher high. In other words, in order for this to recover, we want to see the price action come up and continue on its way up to retest that level. If it doesn't do that kind of formation, so to speak, just say it comes up, we make a higher high, that would be a double top, and the probability of coming down is greater. Okay. In other words, we need more consolidation of this area before it continues upwards and can warrant a break through that key level resistance. So even though we're coming down to a 9, we got a bounce. Unless this next bounce can establish a higher low, we shouldn't buy in just yet. In other words, price action very well could continue to do one of these, right? Because we're establishing lower lows and lower highs tentatively. Okay. Until that confirms itself, we can expect it to continue lower. The last thing we want to look at is the cloud and kind of see here, because the good thing about this situation is that we should hold strong at this level at once again 11 cents, based on the simple fact that the upper and lower lead are consolidating at that level. So by the time it gets over there, that could naturally work itself out to an average up from there. Okay, and that would be great. That's ultimately what we're looking for. But right now, the lagging span is getting closer to the price action, so you do want to keep your position open technically, but you also want to consider taking some profits, because if it doesn't increase soon, it could very well drop. And you see the conversion line here above the baseline. While that's still positive, that still tells us the momentum is dissipating to the upside, and that the likelihood of further downside is greater. Okay. Again, these are just things that kind of add up to help us make an informed decision. Now, there's a great chance that I could say hold off right now and the price goes up. That's absolutely a realistic thing. But why not wait for a better price point and specifically snipe those targets you're looking for, instead of just kind of hoping for the best, right? Because right now, everything that we see here so far tells us Chiliz is due for a minor correction. I'm not saying it's going to be major. We've already confirmed that 11 cents is a very, very likely consolidation point. But it could very well pull back and come up. Otherwise, I would expect it to continue higher in the overall sense of things. What I want to do is I'm going to take a kind of set an alert right here at 11 cents. That way I can get notified if it comes back down there and reevaluate and see if it's worth entry at that point. Okay. Again, anytime you set alerts, don't just set an alert and then just buy in. Set an alert, reevaluate, and then consider buying in once the parameters have been met, right? You want to be able to make sure it fits your risk tolerance. And those are all things I teach, again, in my trading community and my academy videos, of course. If you're currently a community member, make sure you watch the very last chapter over and over again. Risk management is the most important part of trading. Okay. Learning and understanding how the trading works is important, don't get me wrong, but if you can't control your emotions and you can't keep yourself from jumping in and jumping out like just kind of a crazy fish in and out of water, you're not going to do well with trading. You're going to get burnt out and it's not going to work. But if you're patient, consistent, and you have a good risk management, like a lot of my community members do now, you're going to be just fine. All right. Well, I look forward to working with you if you do. If not, that's cool too. Thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.